Well, folks, it's Halloween. Well, folks, if you know me at all, you probably know that Christmas is what I'm really into. But, well, let's not discount Halloween, shall we? I'm kinda into it as well. So, let's talk about it for a little bit, shall we? So yeah, as we sit here speaking, it is Halloween. And I don't just mean the Halloween season, I mean Halloween itself. October 31st. That's today. So, well, I thought I'd like to take you on a little journey that is JT on Halloween. So yeah, it would not be a holiday with JT unless it was full of cheesy decorations. And if you think the stuff I've shown you in my Christmas videos is corny and cheap, oh, honey, you ain't seen nothing yet. It pretty much boils down to the fact that I'm the only one that's really into Halloween in this particular way in the house I live in right now. I'm with my parents still. But, well, my mom would decorate for Halloween if it was left up to just her, we'd have maybe a jack-o'-lantern, a fall wreath, and maybe a couple of orange lights. And that would be the end of that. I can't have that. No. And here we are. These are the decorations. Yeah, with my family, unlike Christmas, Halloween decorations are pretty much reserved only for the outside. We don't do the inside like we do with Christmas. But, let me show you what we got here. I have my father's flagpole, which I put little ghosts on, which I can switch on to make light up and flash. A tombstone. A rock we always have here, which for some reason I felt the need to put a spiderweb tablecloth on. Because why not? And a skull that will light up when it gets dark. And a spider. Some cheap dollar store decorations to line the sidewalks. Some more cheap little dollar store decorations. Little plastic bags that look like ghosts that you put on pegs for your yard. My bush. That I've got jack-o'-lanterns in front of, some pumpkin ghost hanging on the side. It's not facing the right way. There we go. Some pumpkins that light up in the bush itself, and these things, more of those cheap vinyl inflatables that I just adore. These are a pumpkin and a witch that you put inside the bush, and it just looks marvelous, doesn't it? And then here in the front part of the yard, I have more of those dollar store ghosts, along with some dollar store headstones to make a graveyard, which I for some reason decided to make in the form of an arrowhead. I don't know why. In front of each of these tombstones I've got tea lights that when it gets dark I'll turn on, which will make for a nice little eerie candle glow on each of these headstones here. In the back I have more headstones that are of a different color, same make, just different color. Instead of candles in front of them I have these little LED flashing light window decorations. Where did they go? Okay. That will light up like those skulls flash green and the pumpkins flash just regular white, and that'll look just lovely when it gets darker. In the back, more dollar store ghosts, glow-in-the-dark skeleton with some skull lights in the bush, another pumpkin ghost, and some ancient blow molds, because it wouldn't be something I'm involved with if it didn't have blow molds in it. Yeah. And then here's the porch. This is where I will be giving out treats in my costume. Wait till you see my costume. There's actually a bit of a theme between my costume and the decorations on the porch this year. And as you can see, those party streamers I just put up will probably not last the evening. The wind's already giving them hell. Oh well, so yeah. Some little Grim Reapers on either side to guard the entrance. Trick or treat and Happy Halloween signs. One of my witches riding on a broomstick She's supposed to make noise, but her batteries died, and I really don't want to take her down a bit more in. Besides, I have plenty of noise going on here. I don't need that. Pumpkin witch to cover up cords, and more to cover up cords. My little midget witch, which I actually really like. That'll scare some kid. Look at it. She's got a broom. She got her hand out. She's going to put a hex on you. Yeah. Nice and creepy. And then over here, the big display of motionettes. Of course, I have motionettes. What were you thinking I wouldn't? All witches right now, because that's what I decided. That is the theme. This is supposed to be a witch's coven on my porch, which has something to do with my costume. Oh, I think you can guess what my costume is now, can't you? I guess plenty of motionettes, little decorations around them. A very annoying laughing witch motionette. She is supposed to light up her eyes and laugh. She is also broken, but she looks awesome, so I keep her hung up. Little witches hanging on the edge there. Oh, I got to show you this guy. Whoop, streamer's right in the camera. An inflatable ghost with a glow-in-the-dark smile and streamer butt. More dollar store decorations just to cover up empty space. Classic decorations. Decorations I just put up just to cover up cords. Oh yeah, I'll explain the cords here in a minute. Yeah, screw that. I'll explain right now. See this little jack-o'-lantern and witch on this table here? That's not where I'm going to put treats. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have a little inflatable cauldron right here. That's where I'm going to have treats. This is actually just here to cover up this. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. I have a sound system set up there. I'm going to have my laptop right here connected to this. It's got a really nice sound to it. I'm going to have scary sounds coming up from under the table, underneath that witch's skirt, and underneath this witch's skirt. Oh, by the way, check out this witch. Rather awesome, isn't she? Welcome. Actually got this creepy ass sticker set from the Dollar Tree of all places. It's actually really scary. And here's the front door. And here's my mother's fall wreath with a witch that I always put up because my grandmother actually made that for me years ago. And oh, here's our Halloween doorbell. Ah. Oh, it got me. Some of my mother's decorations. This right here, the door knocker and the sign. That is a very apt description of my family's home. Yeah. And right next to the door, my mother's decoration. To go with the witches, I have old Grandpa Warlock, who looks creepy enough it is. But guess what else he does? No, he does nothing. That's the trick. No, wait. There, he does that. It's magic. And we got our porch light covered up by pumpkin cover, which makes everything orange. It's wonderful. And covering up all these giant spaces on the porch, I have a line of old inflatables. Of course I do. Well, technically the ghost is actually new, but there's a bug on him. Ooh. But he kind of matches in with the old inflatables. Got a skeleton on the pillar here. Nice couple of pumpkins. And an old vintage witch face, which again goes with the Witch Coven theme. And come on here, pumpkin, show your face. This pumpkin actually has a haunted house scene inside of his mouth. He ate the ghost! No! One more thing I should make note of, I suppose, is this. It looks like it's gonna rain, like hardcore. Matter of fact, it's raining right now. There's droplets hitting me in the face. From what I've heard, we're going to get really bad winds and rain. This is totally going to ruin Trick or Treat. So, yeah, rain, schmain. I'm not going to let it get me out of the Halloween spirit. I'm having Trick or Treat, damn it, whether they like it or not. So, let's talk about something else. I told you I'm going to be playing music and sound effects, as any good home hunt should on Trick or Treat night. Well, here's what I'm actually going to be doing. I'm going to have my laptop set underneath there with the speaker, like I told you. I'm going to actually have three separate things going on. First, I'm going to have a playlist of just various Halloween-y music playing. Here's a classic piece right here. Have a plat playing. And this player, I'm going to have the spooky sounds of Halloween playing. Let me see, I have that going on. And then at the same time to go with that, and you know what, let me turn these down while I'm talking here. See how we get that down there. There we go. So yeah, to go with those, and then since this right here, I mentioned earlier, this is the cauldron I'm actually going to be giving candy out of, see? It's a nice inflatable cauldron, looks cheap as all hell, of course, because it's my decorations. We're giving candy out of that, and to go with the costume I'll be dressing up as, I'll tell you what my costume is here in just a moment. I'm going to have this playing on another track. A constant stream of a bubbling cauldron, along with a certain voiceover as well.
Double, cauldron bubble. Come in here and you're in trouble.
Can you tell what my costume's gonna be now? Yep. I'm going to be a witch.
But DT, you're a boy. Only girls can be witches.
Shut up!
So let's talk about my costume here. Oh, by the way, that's my dog. Say hello, Chucky. Say hi. Yeah, Chuck's stupid, actually. Yeah, he's kind of stupid. So anyway, yeah, to go with, starting with the costume here. This is the mask I'll be wearing, of course. You would actually not believe how hard it is to find just a good witch mask. You find everything else under the sun, but you can't find a witch mask. Found this online, and it's actually a newer type of mask, and it's actually extremely comfortable to wear. It's not rubber, it's foam. It's very mushy. Yeah. Seriously, it's very comfortable to wear. You got a little breathing point here for you. It's easy to wear, and I'm going to wear this the entirety of the night probably, and be fine with it. It's foam. Look at it. I love it. Look at that face. It's so cute. Look at it. Ah! And the other part of the costume I would like to show off next is actually the prop I made for it. What is a witch without her broomstick? Yeah, I had to come outside to film this because it's actually really hard to hold this thing indoors. It's taller than me, and I wanted it that way. Almost every witch broom prop you can buy at Halloween stores are like, you know, they only come up to about your hip, maybe your shoulder if you're lucky. Yeah, I made this myself. I'm very proud of it. So now I'm underneath the porch. It's actually really hard to, let me set it up there so I can get a good shot. There you go, yeah. That is just from that's from a pole that was part of a poster setup that was at the theater I work at. We no longer used it. Took it, painted it brown. Then I went out and bought some burlap and some stuff to tie the burlap with. And this right here are actually, it's a combination of two things. Various like little fall themed plants for big vases that I got from the Dollar Tree and I chopped up and made into broom bristles. And then the thing on top, yeah, you can kind of see the plant part still under the red there. Then the main part of it is actually a decorative broom that you put on your wall. It smells of cinnamon. And so yeah, the broom actually still smells like cinnamon. But you know what? That's fine. It smells good. So yeah, this broom is pretty damn awesome if I do say so myself. Actually yeah, let me show you something else here. I actually initially bought this to chop up and make the broom bristles out of. This is actually for I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's meant to be for a Hawaiian themed, you know, a luau, a Hawaiian party. It's actually, you drape it along your doorway and hangs down kind of the same way I have those streamers out on the porch. And just a second, my dog needs to come in. Come in, Chucky. Back to the broom. So yeah, I was going to chop this up and make that the broom bristles. Only thing is, it'd stay up right now because it's still all in one piece, but I'd have to chop it up to get on there. It would droop like that most likely. That's what I was originally thinking of going for, because that would actually make the broom look like the broomstick used by the Wicked Witch of the West in the classic Wizard of Oz. And I was going to go for that at first, but then I thought, you know what, no. I think I would like my broomstick to actually look more like another favorite witch of mine and her broomstick. That would be Miss Eglantine Price, played by Angela Lansbury in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
My first broom.
So I went with that. I think it looks wonderful. And it actually does kind of look like her broomstick, at least a little bit. Now I'd like to talk about the rest of the costume here. Can't really say I made it because everything else from here on out is just a hodgepodge. Well, for starters, here's a, yes, I will be wearing, ooh, it's caught on something. I will be wearing a ratty old witch's wig with the mask. Here, you can go with the mask, honey. There you go. And then this right here is the actual costume I'll be wearing. Let me take it out here and hang it up where you can see it better. So yeah, it's actually, it looks, I didn't want to go with all black because I actually like some collar. It's actually a nice, one of those cheap velvety robes. The mantle here is actually part of the robe underneath it, which I just kind of pull out from underneath the cape I'll be wearing. This is part of the cape, and this right here is just some cheap jewelry I bought at Walmart and Hobby Lobby. It's one of those owl necklaces that I see a lot of women wearing. I don't get it, but well, I think it looks good for the witch costume. So yeah, that's a black underrobe, the dark green velvety cloak to wear over it. The robe underneath it is actually a very, it does not fit me well because, well, I don't know if you've all noticed it, I'm fat. I'm proud of it. But yeah, this, you'll notice when you see the finished product, this thing looks, I look pregnant. I'm like this huge in that thing. Bah. So yeah, it's a mixture of just old costumes I've worn over many Halloweens. The robe here with that wonderful design on it is actually, I think it was Gothic or Vampire Priest, something like that. I wore like back when I was a junior in high school. That's my father on the stair upstairs. You know, I got this old glow-in-the-dark spider to act like a brooch because I also put around it a lovely little sash to wear. To put around it, I've got this like outer skirt I just got out of fabric I bought at Walmart. Lengthens the skirt and makes it look more feminine. And these sleeves are just wonderful. This is the hat I'll be wearing, also made of kind of a velvety material. This is from an old costume of my mother's. I modified it. Bought a new ribbon to put around it, as you can see with the old ribbon still underneath it. I made it go all the way down the back so it'll hang down to my butt when I wear it. Put the brother of that one other glow-in-the-dark spider brooch on the hat. Little light up button if I want to turn it on. And I also modified the hat so that it would have these straps that I can actually tie it around my neck so that it won't come off at all. Yeah, and I think it looks wonderful. Hooray! Happy Halloween! And so here we go. I'm going to give you the whole witchy experience. What do you think? Am I not just wicked? Can you all understand what I'm saying through this thing? Probably not. Oh well. I love this costume. I think I did a good job. Like I said, it's hard to have this broom inside.
How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
And guess what, folks? The rains have started. Meh. Well, I guess one good thing about this is if Trick or Treat does get rained out completely, it makes this segment a nice little segue into the next part of what I want to talk about. Yep, I'm going to talk to y'all about something you can do, well, indoors for Halloween. So another thing that needs to be talked about that's an essential part of the Halloween experience. Halloween movies. Not scary movies per se. Halloween movies. They're not always the same thing. If you remember last year, I tried to have a Halloween-a-thon. Didn't go as planned. I talked in detail about at least one of my all-time favorite Halloween movies, which is Hocus Pocus. I adore that movie, and I have to watch it every year at Halloween. I have some of my other favorite movies are on that list that I didn't get to, but this year, thanks to an internet personality, I actually discovered an old made-for-TV Halloween movie from the 80s that I just had a vague memory of that I never could remember, and thanks to this man, I now know what it is. So first of all, I'd like to actually thank CR. You might know him from he's a contributor to thatguywiththeglasses.com. He has a show called Familiar Faces, and he is another appreciator of Halloween. And his most recent top 13 weirdest Halloween specials, in the number 1 spot he had listed The Midnight Hour. Holy crap. This movie is sheer 80s cheesiness joy. If I was just going to give the basics of it, this movie would actually sound like I'm talking about Hocus Pocus. The whole thing happens because some friends go to a creepy place they're not supposed to be at on Halloween night, do something that they're not supposed to do with a magical item they're not supposed to have, and they wind up resurrecting an ancient witch. It's just one witch in this case, instead of 3 witches. But of course with her she also brings an army of zombies and various demons of hell. No, really, that's how they say it in the movie. It brings back the dead and also demons. Yeah.
Astrachios Mundabor Desmagon. I invoke your powers. Come heed my bidding on this night of nights, the eve of Samhain, All Hallows' Eve. Spirits of darkness, I command you to rise from your graves. Et lavabis saga me. All manner of demons, I implore your release from eternal torment. Castigus saga me. All manner of dead, renewed by sleep, thirsting for blood, this night and forever, he who is touched by evil shall become evil. Sodomus saga me. He who has died shall rise again. Bestimus saga me. Life to the dead, death to the living. Demons, arise, arise.
Listen, just trust me. If you can track a copy of this movie down, by whatever means you can, watch it. Seriously, I am hereby declaring this required viewing for Halloween. It is right up there with Hocus Pocus now. Watch this movie. It is awesome.
Everybody should try it. You're dying. Everybody should try it. Get dead. Get high. Don't fight it. Everybody's gonna buy it. Get dead. I'm dead. You're dying. Everybody should try it. Get dead. I'm dead. You're dying. Everybody should try it. Get dead.
So, yeah. We've gone over my decorations for the year, what I'm going to dress up as for the year, my pissed off personality because of the weather, recommended a Halloween movie to watch. I think we're good. So, guess I'll take this moment to wish you all a happy Halloween. And, well, I think you all know what to expect from me next. I'll see you all in December.